Hey there! When you hear the phrase Mother Nature, what picture pops into your head? For most of us, it's something warm, right? Nurturing, a gentle, life giving force. It's this really comforting vision of the world we all kind of grow up with.
And we see this idea everywhere, in quotes, just like this one. We take this really powerful, very human concept of a mother's selfless love, and we just project it onto the entire natural world. We imagine every animal mother out there is fiercely protective and totally dedicated. It's a beautiful thought, isn't it?
Okay, but what if that whole picture we have in our heads is just wrong? What if the reality of the animal kingdom is way colder, way more indifferent, and honestly, a lot more brutal than we could ever imagine? All right, so let's pull back the curtain on that comforting myth, shall we? We're going to take a hard look at the evidence from the animal kingdom and explore some of nature's most shocking parenting strategies, and trust me, it gets pretty wild.
I mean, this one sentence right here, it just completely flips the script on everything we think we know about motherhood in the wild. For a huge part of the animal world, birth isn't some beautiful beginning. It's just an exit. That's it.
First up in our case file against a cuddly Mother Nature, we're heading to the swamp. Let's talk about the crocodile. This is an ancient creature whose whole approach to parenting is less of a loving hug and more like a high-stakes game of roulette.
Just 80%. Seriously, let that number sink in for a second. That means 4 out of every 5 baby crocodiles will not make it past their first few weeks. They get eaten by birds, big fish, lizards, you name it.
So you see here, you start with this full clutch of eggs, right? 100%. And then, bam, the population just nosedives. It's a pure numbers game. The strategy isn't to nurture every single one. It's just to make so many that, hey, maybe a few will get lucky and actually survive.
Okay, so we've seen the brutal numbers game. But what about just straight up abandonment? If you thought an 80% loss rate was cold, get ready for this. The flying snake's so-called parenting style is basically a masterclass in just leaving. Think about it like this. When you go on vacation, you put up a temporary out-of-office message, right? Well, when a flying snake mom lays her eggs, that out-of-office is permanent, like forever. She is gone for good. No watching the nest, no feeding, no protection, just see ya.
All right, but it gets even darker. We've seen terrible odds, we've seen total neglect. Now, for our third case, womb warfare. The fight for survival literally starts before you're even born. We're going inside a shark's womb.
And there's a name for this, a chillingly scientific one. Intrauterine cannibalism. Yep, you heard me right. Cannibalism inside the womb. This isn't about predators waiting outside the nest. This is sibling rivalry at its most extreme, at the embryonic level. It is, quite literally, a battle to the death before they're even born. So how does this ultimate sibling rivalry even work? Well, it's a pretty grim, step-by-step horror story. The first and the strongest embryo to hatch, inside the mother, just goes ahead and eats its unborn siblings for food. The womb itself becomes an arena, and in the end, only one single victorious pup makes it out alive.
So after all that, the crocodile roulette, the snake's great escape, and the shark's womb warfare, where does that leave us? What's the verdict on our idea of a kind and caring Mother Nature? It's time to reevaluate.
The big takeaway here is that we've been looking at this all wrong. Mother Nature isn't some caring, sentient being. It's a system, an indifferent system of survival strategies. So-called animal parenting isn't about love. It's about whatever strategy, no matter how brutal it looks to us, works to keep the species going. Our human values, things like love and care, they just don't apply here. And that leaves us with this one kind of unsettling final thought. We always talk about natural as being good or right, don't we? But if womb cannibalism and just leaving your kids behind forever is natural, what does that word even mean anymore? What else have we been completely wrong about when we look at the natural world? That's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.